Look, I would never betray my best girl Fubuki, but all I'm saying is that Yuta, if you're free, let's just get a cup of coffee, see what happens. We'll just talk. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But despite being on the cover page, Yuta is unfortunately not in this chapter, but fortunately for me, King is. And King has always been one of my favorite characters in the entire One Punch Man universe. I think it's like Garo, Saitama, King, but then they might switch a little bit from time to time because King is just the kind of guy that I want to see in a manga like this, surrounded by superpowered characters and people that can destroy buildings and destroy mountainsides and fight monsters all day long. And you just have this dude that chills and plays video games, but because of some stroke of luck, maybe that's his power, who knows, he is considered to be like the strongest hero that is out there. And so he has this reputation to uphold. And he reminds me a lot of ways, I think I said in the last review, of Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball Z, where the entire world, looks up to him as this great hero and looks up to him as this great fighter and martial artist. But really, it's just a facade and he has fooled everybody. But the thing with King is he's gone so far into it that he constantly thinks about backtracking. He constantly thinks about admitting, this is the time. I'm just going to admit to everybody. I'm just going to say the truth. But then he, in the last second, comes up with some ridiculous, inconceivable method to continue the lie. And every time it gets more and more hilarious. And I think this chapter just absolutely took the cake. I love the moment where King fought the giant centipede, where he was standing his ground, or when he did his ultimate attack during the monster invasion arc, but this is just on a different level. So at the end of the last chapter, they're in this conveyor belt sushi bar, which is, those places are awesome, by the way. I used to have one near me, but it closed down during the pandemic, and I haven't been able to find another one close by. But anyways, King kept taking the sushi that Atomic Samurai wanted off. So he goes up, sees who it is, and wants to challenge him to a fight. So this is the confrontation that's going to go down. And there are so many ridiculously hilarious moments in this chapter. The first is that King just starts to cough, and then he throws his chopsticks out towards him, kind of touching his sword. And so everyone around him thinks that he's literally going to try to use the chopsticks to fight against Atomic Samurai's sword. Hilarious to begin with. And so Atomic Samurai is I'm going to show you what a badass I am. Look at this apple. And it brings back the setup for the joke in the last chapter was the guy, I forget the character's name. He's got the robotic kind of cyborg legs. But he was able to cut the apple at such a precise level in between its own atoms that the apple had not yet even realized that it was cut. It's a very specific setup to the joke on this chapter. So Atomic Samurai chops the apple up, and of course it falls into pieces, and this is all within a split second. So King is oh fuck, I'm out of my element. This is gonna be bad. So they go out into this park. Samurai's there, hyping himself up. He's got his team of followers behind him and everything, and so this is gonna go down. And King is trying to find a way out of this situation. And he does several different things. The first thing he does is start spitting a bunch of scientific facts that aren't even really facts. He just starts throwing out hydrogen, oxygen, the atmosphere, yada yada. Basically saying if they fight, something is going to go wrong in the atmosphere because of the Tuesday. Yeah, because he says it's Tuesday. You didn't realize it was Tuesday, acting all confident. It's just I just love this character, man. And he basically tries to gaslight them, making them feel like amateurs, saying you didn't even notice it was Tuesday because the atmosphere does this, and with the hydrogen molecules in the air, if we fought, it would cause this catastrophic disaster that would kill all of these innocent people, and I don't feel like these people deserve to be hurt. He's you're a hero, I'm a hero, there's no reason to do this and get innocent people involved, and basically just comes up with this bullshit lie about the atmosphere to stop the fight. So it actually works. And maybe part of King's power is just he can just bullshit his way out of everything. He's kind of like a lawyer in many instances. And so he, so Atomic Samurai is all right, fine, we won't fight, but I want to get a sense of who you are as a person. He's when I see someone use a sword, I can connect and I can basically see everything they've been through in life. I can understand fully. I can create an image of this person in my mind and understand their psychology and their soul, by how they use a sword. And so he offers a sword to King and says to cut the apple. So however King cuts the apple is how he's going to be perceived, right? And so he gets there and he kneels down, and I love it because he just he grabs the sword. I don't have a sword, but I have a machete. He grabs the machete, the sword. And then there's like 3 minutes of dead silence. And he doesn't unsheath the sword at all. And then he just sets the sword down and starts to walk away, saying that he couldn't even unsheath it, right? But the characters perceive this in the method of that he was so fast that he was able to unsheath the sword, cut the apple, not only before the apple itself doesn't even know that it was cut, but the sword doesn't even know that it was unsheathed. So we're talking about an intensity of power and speed and precision that was so, specific, so pinpoint that not even the sword didn't even have time to react from being unsheathed. And then King just walked away, which makes Atomic Samurai just kind of revel in shame. And in a way, causes him to be even more motivated than he was before in order to become a better swordsman and to kind of lead his group of followers and his team into their progression, into their ultimate victory someday. And this is just on another level. You know how some characters have like talk no Jitsu, that's the meme of like Naruto and like Thorfinn and Vinland Saga at this point, it's like they can try to talk themselves out of situations. King is on a different level. King is just like the bullshit no Jitsu. Like he just absolutely just comes up with the most radically batshit, ridiculous, off the wall, nonsensical things. Or just some sort of accident that he just, half-ass falls into, and it just miraculously works out. And it's like, it's almost even a funnier joke than people not realizing how strong Saitama is. Like, of course that's like the ultimate joke of the entire manga, but like King as a character, I think is like right up there with the level of like just absolute like ridiculousness. I don't know what else to say about this chapter. It was just hilarious, man. Every page turn was just another joke. It's just like it never stopped. It's like every single joke was just one upped by the next one. I could read an entire spin-off manga of King himself, honestly. But that was the chapter, man. No ultimate story progression, nothing about the conspiracy theory. We still haven't gotten back to Psychos, which from some of the webcomic readers apparently have told me that that's not going to happen for a very, very, very long time, which is crazy to me because that was like such a big component. But whatever, we'll get to it when we get to it. So we have the other hero association group that is kind of recruiting members on the side. Janos moved in with Saitama. We still have the monsters Rover and Black S that are kind of just pretending to be pets. So there's a lot of stuff happening here, but this chapter was just like, let's just play around with King for a while, and I appreciate that. You know what? I'm fine with that. Anyways, guys, what did you guys think of the chapter? Let me know down below all your comments, thoughts, theories, opinions. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up and a comment because it will help it out in the algorithm. I could use the help. Also, if you want to support the channel on a deeper level, I do have channel memberships turned on, Patreon, merch store, link down below, along with all the various social media links where you can follow me. So other than that, guys, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll talk to you next time.